Scene 1 of Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs by Jessie Braham White. The throne room in Queen Brangomar's palace. The throne room is a fine apartment, hung with blue damask embroidered with silver peacocks, birds of which Queen Brangomar is very fond. At the back, wide steps lead to a terrace of white marble. Beyond shines the blue sea. On one side stands the great throne, inlaid with coloured mosaics. Opposite is an entrance leading to the other rooms of the palace. When the play begins, 7 of the maids of honour to Princess Snow White are playing a game with coloured balls. They are little girls about 12 years old, and their names are Rosalis, Amelot, Ermengarde, Guinevere, Christabel, Ursula, and Lynette. As they play, they sing.
High and low, round and about across they go. Blue and green, gold and white, toss them through, hold them tight. Miss the ball and let it fall. Make ladies take it all. 1, 2, 3, out goes she. 1, 2, 3, and out goes she.
Just here Rosalis does miss, and the others rush to tag her, crying,
Rosalis is out.
I don't care. It's not an interesting game anyway.
Play again?
One game.
I will.
But just as they are about to begin again, Sir Dandyprat Bombus, the court chamberlain, appears on the terrace. He is a fat, puffy little man, with an enormous wig and a great sense of his own importance.
Ah, young ladies, what? Playing in the throne room? Tut-tut, tut-tut.
Oh, please
Don't tell the
Don't
queen.
tell the queen.
Tell the queen.
We didn't break anything.
No, on the whole, I will not tell Her Majesty. She might blame me. I was going to say, I have an important announcement to make. Since Lady Cicely was sent home with the mumps, your usual number, 8, has been reduced to 7. Am I right? 1 from 8 leaves 7, I think.
He tries to do the sum on his fingers.
Yes, it is 7.
I am right. Her Majesty the Queen wishes your numbers kept complete, so I have brought another young lady to take the vacant spot.
He leads on little Lady Astelaine and presents her.
The Lady Astelaine. These are the maids of honour to the Princess Snow White.
Lady Astelaine curtsies to the maids of honour, and they in turn curtsy to her.
You must teach Lady Astelaine all she ought to know as a maid of honour. You'd better teach her your cravat first. You may have to dance it almost immediately.
And the little man dances a few steps, puffing out the tune meantime.
Tum-tum-tee, dum-tum-tee. And how to do a proper curtsy. So.
And he tries to make one.
And how to retire backwards gracefully. So.
But as he retires backwards, he stumbles against the terrace steps and falls flat on his back. He is so embarrassed by this mishap that he scrambles out of the room as fast as he can, puffing,
Gracefully, young ladies, gracefully!
Till he is out of sight.
Who's that old thing?
Mimicking Sir Dandyprat's voice and strut.
That's Sir Dandyprat Bombus, court chamberlain to the Queen.
He gives us our instructions.
But we don't mind him.
Do you have good times here?
Splendid, except when the Queen is especially cross.
And then, oh me, we have to be careful.
I don't think I shall like the Queen.
Shh!
Why, shh?
Never say anything uncomplimentary about the Queen.
We all adore the queen.
But they shake their heads and make little faces to show Astelaine that they don't mean it.
I shall hate the Queen.
We all do.
But I'm to be maid of honour to the Princess Snow White, so I'll take my orders from her.
Oh, Snow White never gives orders.
I shall like her. When shall I see her?
Sometimes every day, and then again, not for ever so long. It just depends on the Queen's temper.
And how much Snow White has to do.
I thought a princess never had anything to do.
Well, you see, Snow White isn't exactly a regular princess.
Why, Christabel, of course she's a regular princess, but...
But what? You don't hate Snow White, too.
Hate Snow White.
Idea.
The
She's
idea,
the dearest,
Loveliest.
kindest,
we just adore her.
Oh, Do you think we could get Snow White to come and see Asterlane now while we're all alone?
Oh, let's try.
And all the little maids hop up and down and clap their hands with glee at the idea.
Where is she?
Kitchen, I think. She said she had to bake bread first and cookies afterward.
Bread is important, but cookies aren't. Anyway, it can't do any harm to ask her.
I'll go.
And off she darts to the kitchen.
But what is the princess doing in the kitchen?
Of course you don't understand about Snow White yet. It's a court secret. But I think we ought to tell her right away, don't you? Before she sees Snow White, or she might think...
They evidently agree, for they all rush at Asterlane and begin to speak at once.
I'll tell
No,
her.
let me. I know. Snow White was born.
This queen isn't her real mother.
It's like a fairy
tale.
Stopping her ears.
I can't possibly understand if you all talk at once.
But each little maid, thinking that the others will stop, again begins to tell Snow White's story, so that the confusion is worse than before. Asterlane has to hold her ears a second time.
That's worse. There's only one fair way to decide. I'll count out, and the one that's out shall tell.
I suppose that's fair. Only I should tell it so much the best.
To Asterlane.
Well then, you count.
Intry, mintry, ketry, corn, apple seed and apple thorn, wire, briar, limber, lock, 5 grey geese in a flock. Eeny, meeny, mona, me, Barcelona, Bonastree. 1, 2, 3, out goes she. Out goes she.
Oh,
it's Rosalie's.
I was so afraid it wouldn't be me. Come over here where we can talk quietly.
She runs to the throne and climbs into the big seat. The others cuddled close beside her.
Now nobody must interrupt except by express permission. Buttonmouths, first, Queen Brangomar isn't Snow White's real mother.
Oh, I know that.
But my father says that her real father and mother were the best king and queen.
Glaring at Christabel.
What about interrupting?
I forgot. Excuse me.
And she buttons her mouth again.
One day in winter before Snow White was born, her real mother was sitting by the window embroidering at an ebony frame. And she pricked her finger, so she opened the window and shook the drop of blood on the snow outside. And it looked so beautiful that she said, "Oh, how I wish I had a little daughter with hair as black as ebony, skin as white as snow, and lips as red as blood." She'd never had a baby before. But a little while after, a baby daughter was born with
Hair as black as
ebony,
skin white as
snow,
and lips as red as
blood.
So that's why they named her Snow White.
But then Snow White's mother died, and I suppose the king thought there ought to be somebody to mind the baby, for he married Queen Brangomar. She's queen now.
Oh, I see.
As long as the king lived, Queen Brangomar was as sweet as sugar to Snow White.
I'm glad she was ever nice to somebody.
After he died,
Then what?
then she grew awfully jealous of Snow White.
Not really.
Of course, everybody loved the princess best.
And Brangomar really is the hardest woman.
Shh! First she pretended that Snow White might grow up vain, so she took away all her princessy clothes and made her wear old rag-backety things.
Then she pretended that she might grow up lazy, so she made her sweep and dust the palace.
And now Snow White is really almost like a kitchen maid and sleeps in a little closet under the stairs where we keep the umbrellas and overshoes.
Springing up.
I think it's outrageous. Why does Princess Snow White stand it? I wouldn't.
Shh!
Why, shh. I never heard anything so shh-y as this palace.
But what can she do? The queen.
I don't want to hear anything more about that hateful queen.
But you must. It isn't safe that you shouldn't. We'll have to tell her. You tell.
No, you. It makes me feel all creepy.
Well, you.
No, you were counted out.
Well, please, somebody.
Oh dear. The reason it's not safe to do or say anything against the queen is that she might magic you,
What do you mean?
enchant you, bewitch you, do some terrible magic thing to you.
You don't mean that she's a witch?
The others nod silently and snuggle closer together.
If she isn't a witch herself, she's friends with one. You see, she must really be very old.
She's 30 if she's a minute.
And she's still the most beautiful woman in the 7 kingdoms.
And once a chambermaid found a broomstick the kind that witches ride on in her bedroom.
So you see, if you did anything against her, she might magic you or turn you into a pig
Or a toad.
or a caterpillar.
Or something worse.
There isn't anything worse than a caterpillar. Oh, I want to go home. I'm afraid.
And she bursts into tears. The others gather about to comfort her.
Please, Asterlane, there's really nothing to
It's
be
all
afraid
right.
of.
hardly ever
honestly.
notices us.
And
we all want
you to stay.
for we like you ever so much.
Oh, if Snow White would only come now, then she wouldn't want to go home.
Just at this moment, Emma Lott reappears in the doorway.
Princess Snow White says she'll come if nobody's here.
There isn't anybody.
She'll come, she's right here.
And she darts out of sight again.
Oh, she's coming. Snow White's coming. Now you'll see.
In joyous excitement, the maids of honor join hands and dance a ring around, and then wind up into a little squirming knot, hugging each other and dancing up and down. Re-entering announces,
The Princess Snow White.
Instantly the maids of honor separate and kneel to receive their little princess. Snow White appears in the doorway. She is dressed in a frock of ragged black, and she has on neither shoes nor stockings. Nevertheless, she has the air of a little princess.
Is this my new playmate, Lady Asterlane? I hope you'll like me.
Kissing the hand which Snow White holds out to her.
I love you already, dear princess.
Like a little flight of birds, the maids of honor run to surround Snow White.
We all love you, dear princess.
And I love you, all of you. But did you want anything particular? I've left hundreds of cookies in my oven.
Can't you stay just a moment and teach Asterlane our gavotte? Sir Dandyprat said that she must learn it at once, and you dance so much the best.
Do you think I have time?
Yes.
Running out onto the terrace.
I'll watch and tell if anybody's coming.
To Asterlane,
You better be my partner. It's very simple.
the maids of honor take positions for their dance, and as Snow White teaches Asterlane the steps, they sing,
Turn to me and curtsy low.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
3.
Turn away and point your toe.
1, 2, and 3.
Turn again and hand in hand.
Hand in hand, hand in hand.
Turn your partner where you stand.
1 and 2 and 3. 1 and 2.
But just here Rosalis comes running in from the terrace.
Oh, shh! Old Dandyprat's coming.
Oh dear, I must run.
Catching her,
No, don't. He won't stay a minute. He hide behind the throne till he's gone.
Yes, quickly.
Behind the throne.
Snow White runs behind the throne, and the maids of honor spread themselves out before it so that she is quite hidden. But they are not a moment too soon, for Sir Dandyprat waddles in from the terrace, followed by 2 solemn flunkies in gorgeous liveries.
Ah, young ladies, I am fortunate to have found you all together. We have the most important announcement to make. I composed it myself.
He unrolls an imposing parchment and reads,
Whereas our gracious queen has been informed that His Highness Prince Florimond, heir to the kingdom of Caledon, will call upon Her Majesty this afternoon to deliver an important letter from his royal father. I have arranged the following reception. At 4:15 precisely, this proclamation will be read.
He consults his watch,
Dear me, 5 minutes late already. I shall have to alter it.
and with a sigh he makes the correction with a gold pencil.
At 4:20 precisely, this proclamation will be read. At 4:30, Prince Florimond will arrive, and he will be shown at once to the throne room by myself. The maids of honor will dance their gavotte to amuse His Highness until the Queen is announced, when they will immediately retire. By order of me, Sir Dandyprat Bombus, Court Chamberlain. Signed, yours very truly, Sir Dandyprat Bombus. P.S. Her Majesty the Queen regrets that, owing to her duties in the kitchen, Princess Snow White will be unable to attend. You understand, young ladies?
Perfectly, Sir Dandyprat.
You have 8 minutes and 31 seconds to prepare.
And he trips busily away again, followed by the flunkies.
Gracious, I can't possibly learn that dance in 8 minutes and 31 seconds.
And we must dance in pairs.
What shall we do?
Calling to Snow White, who is still hidden behind the throne,
Princess Snow White, what shall we do?
It's all right, Princess. Sir Dandyprat has gone.
Princess Snow White.
Princess Snow White.
Princess Snow White.
Rosalis runs behind the throne.
Oh, she's crying. Oh, dear princess.
They all run to Snow White and find her hiding her face and sobbing silently. Surrounding and embracing her.
Oh, what's the matter? Please don't cry.
We can't bear to see you unhappy.
If you cry, we shall cry too.
I didn't mean to cry. I won't. A princess should never cry.
She smiles resolutely, though her eyes are full of tears.
There. But I did so want to see Prince Florimond again. He sends me a valentine every year. And long ago, when his father came to visit mine, we were wheeled about in the same baby carriage. He must be grown up now.
I think it's an outrageous shame.
But what can I do? You heard? P.S. Her Majesty regrets that the princess will be unable to attend.
If I were a princess, I'd do what I chose, and if the queen didn't like it, I'd...
Asselin,
Hush!
I'm tired of hushing.
She's right. I am a king's daughter after all, and if I am always meek and do just what I am told, I'll stay in that hateful kitchen all my life. Oh, wouldn't I like to march right in before everybody and say, Prince Florimond, I'm your cousin Snow White. I apologize for my frock, but it's all I have, and I can't let you kiss my hand because it's all covered with flour. But I did want to see you again, after riding with you in a baby carriage when you were 2, and I was a half, and I have. Goodbye. And then I'd march back to my kitchen.
Oh, please,
please don't, dear
please don't,
princess.
dear princess.
The queen would be so angry she might even...
Struck with an idea.
Wait, the queen won't be here when we dance for the prince.
No, why?
Then why can't the princess dance in my place? She could wear my veil over her face, and I'd say afterward that I had, measles or something else spotty.
Oh, Asteline.
She runs to hug her for the suggestion.
Oh, dear. I wish it were possible. But my frock.
Why can't we all lend her something?
Why not? We have on heaps more than we need.
She could have my overskirt.
She pulls it up to show an underskirt almost as elaborate.
And my watteau.
And my lace jacket.
And my cap and pearls.
We could dress her perfectly.
And they all hop up and down with little squeaks of delight.
Will you do it, princess? Oh, will you?
You darlings. I suppose I oughtn't, but I will.
And she runs behind the throne to dress, with Guinevere to help her. The other little maids unpin and unhook and twist and turn to reach hard buttons at a great rate, as you can judge from the things they say.
Here's my veil.
Oh, she doesn't want a veil first. Help me with this skirt.
I can't unhook me.
These pearls just won't untangle.
Please come and unpin this.
No, me first.
I won't go to either if you don't decide.
She's ready for the skirt now. You unhook while I squeeze. Now, 1, 2, 3. There isn't room for all our fingers on the one little hook.
Here's the jacket.
And now they're all behind the throne, helping Snow White on with the new things, except poor Christabel, who was left writhing to reach a pin at the back of her neck.
I think you're just mean. I know it will prick. It did. Well, anyway, I know where it is now.
And with an enormous twist, she succeeds in unfastening her watteau, dancing out, waving Snow White's black frock.
Here's her little black dress. What shall I do with it?
Following.
Oh, put it anywhere.
But where is anywhere?
Here, stuff it under this cushion on the throne.
She does so.
They'll never find it there. Won't it be a joke when the queen sits on it?
Oh, why did you say that? Now I shall just giggle and giggle and giggle.
And they run behind the throne again. Snow White is almost dressed now, and the little maids, one after another, tiptoe away from the throne, whispering,
Oh, she just looks like a bride, and she's perfectly sweet.
All silver and white from her head to her feet.
Her lips red as blood, and her hair black as night.
She's lovely, our Princess Snow White.
They stand waiting for her. There is a moment's pause, and then Rosalis calls,
Aren't you coming, Princess?
From behind the throne.
Just a moment, till I shake out my hair. There!
She steps into sight. The maids sink down in involuntary curtsies at the sight of her.
She's lovelier than apple blossoms.
Lovelier than anybody I ever saw.
More beautiful than the queen.
The queen must never see her like this.
Never.
Snow White, who has been putting the last touches to her dress, suddenly...
Oh, look! My feet!
and indeed her little white feet are bare.
Oh, I don't think it matters. The prince is a gentleman, and no gentleman would look at a lady's feet except to admire them.
But I'd be different.
Then let's all take off our shoes and stockings.
Of course.
Immediately they plump down on the floor, but they have hardly begun when a trumpet sounds from the terrace.
There's the prince now.
We can't stay here. Let's run into the anteroom to finish.
I am so afraid something may happen. Really, I ought not to, but I do so want to see him.
Hurry,
Hurry,
dear princess.
And they hasten off into the anteroom, drawing Snow White with them. They are only just in time, for music sounds on the terrace, and the throne room fills with dukes and duchesses, none of lower rank are allowed, all in their best robes and Sunday coronets. Then on struts Sir Dandyprat, more important and puffy than ever.
His Highness Prince Florimond, heir apparent to the kingdom of Calydon.
The prince appears, followed by his pages Valentine and Vivian. He is a handsome, manly youth, dressed in blue and gold. He bows politely to the kneeling dukes and duchesses as Sir Dandyprat ushers him to the throne.
I regret, Your Highness, that the Queen hasn't quite finished doing her hair, but she will be here in a moment. Meanwhile, may the maids of honor entertain Your Highness with a little dance?
It would give me great pleasure.
It is a very simple dance, Your Highness, but considering their youth...
But he stops because his eye falls upon a little pink shoe that Guinevere has left behind. He picks it up, hides it under his coat-tails, and stumbles on.
The young ladies do very...
And now he spies a stocking, and in hiding that, the clumsy little man lets the shoe fall. This confuses him still more, but he goes on.
Very creditably indeed.
And he sees a garter. This completes his embarrassment. He forgets the rest of his speech altogether, and cries,
Really, they will drive me distracted. And where are they now?
He dives about among the dukes and duchesses, hunting for them, just as they appear in the doorway.
Ah, here you are. Well, begin your dance at once.
And off he puffs to find the Queen, wiping his forehead alternately with shoe and stocking as he goes. The maids of honor begin their gavotte. They are all veiled and all barefooted, so that you couldn't tell Snow White from the others unless you happened to know that she was dressed in silver and white. But there is something about her that attracts the young prince from the first, and as the dance progresses, he becomes so interested that he comes down from the throne to watch her more closely. As the first figure ends, he is close beside her.
In the measure to ensue, lady, may I dance with you?
Giving him her hand.
Sir, could any maid withstand such a flattering command?
Then I ask another grace. Won't you please unveil your face?
Yes, if secret it may be. Secret between you and me.
The second figure of the dance begins. Snow White now dancing with the prince. Once in a while, we overhear what they are saying.
You look at me as if we bow. You'd never seen my face till now.
Do you think I could forget if we two had ever met?
Yet in silence side by side, once we sat, until I cried.
Now I fear 'twill be my heart that will weep when we must part.
Now we turn and bow. Dear me, you don't know this dance, I see.
Can I think to bow and turn when I'm learning what I learn?
The dance ends, and a trumpet sounds to announce the coming of the Queen. But the prince still holds Snow White's hand.
There's the trumpet. I must fly. Please my hand, sir, and goodbye.
Detaining her.
I don't even know your name. Don't go yet. I'll take the blame.
Oh, I can't nor tell you why. Please, I beg you, let me fly.
And she runs off, surrounded by the maids of honor, who have been terribly frightened lest the Queen should spy her. Gazing after her.
Do you think to steal my heart, little thief, and so depart? Nay, I'll follow fast and true, till I find my heart and you.
Sir Dandyprat appears on the terrace.
Her Majesty, the Queen.
To a crash of music and blare of trumpets, Queen Brangomar enters. She is dark, languorous, and very beautiful. She wears her crown, and her long robes are embroidered in the blues and greens of the peacock's tail. She holds out a jewelled hand for Prince Florimond to kiss, and then sweeps to the throne.
So, you are Prince Florimond. I'm sorry you chose today to come. I'm not looking my best.
I have always heard of Queen Brangomar as the most beautiful...
Of course, of course. I am told you bring me a message from your father. What is it?
This letter. I don't know its contents, Your Majesty.
Your father writes that if you did know, it might embarrass you. Wretched handwriting. My son Florimond, now of an age to marry.
Marry?
So, your foolish old father is intending to marry you off, is he? I hope he isn't thinking of me. How many proposals would that make this week, Dandiprat?
11, Your Majesty, including those from the lunatic asylum.
What's this? To his cousin, the Princess Snow White? To Snow White?
She rises in anger, crushing the letter.
To Snow White?
Then, trying not to betray her jealousy, and with a bitter laugh, she reseats herself.
Really, my dear Florimond, of course, I regret to say so, but Snow White isn't a possible choice. I'm sorry to disappoint you.
But you don't,
I was speaking. Snow White is most malicious and ill-tempered, and so stupid and common that she prefers to associate with the kitchen maids. Indeed, I believe she's in the kitchen at this very moment. She wouldn't do for you at all. Are not these the facts, Sir Dandiprat?
Well, Your Majesty, perhaps...
Are not these the facts, Sir Dandiprat?
They are, Your Majesty.
Your Majesty has made me very happy.
Happy, I supposed.
5 minutes ago, such an account of Snow White would have made me miserable, for even as a little boy I always dreamed of marrying my cousin when I grew up. But now... Oh, will Your Majesty help me if I confess?
Help you? How?
You see, I've fallen in love with someone else meantime.
Meantime? When?
Here. Just now, in this very room. She is the most beautiful...
Oh, my poor boy, really, I'm so much older than you.
Oh, not Your Majesty. She's one of Snow White's maids of honor.
A maid of honor? You don't mean to say you want to marry one of them? Your father would never consent. They're nice girls, and come of quite respectable families, daughters of dukes and earls and that class, but you can only marry a princess.
I'd marry her without my father's consent, even if we had to set up housekeeping in a poor cottage.
Don't be heroic. What is the young paragon's name?
She didn't tell me. We danced together, that was all.
Are you quite sure you would even know her again?
Your Majesty is unkind.
Apparently, the only way to discover the young person is to summon all the maids of honor.
She motions Sir Dandiprat, who hurries off.
I am curious to know your taste. Stand here by me and point her out when she comes.
Sir Dandiprat reappears in the doorway and introduces the maids of honor one by one. As each maid is named, she curtsies to the prince.
The maids of honor. The Lady Rostislav. The Lady Amalot. The Lady Ermengarde. The Lady Guinevere. The Lady Christabel. The Lady Astalon. The Lady Ursula. The Lady Lynette.
But she's not there. There was another.
Another? 8, that is all.
Counting his fingers.
Only 8, Your Highness.
But there was another.
Another? What was she like?
Her hair was black as polished ebony. Her skin was whiter than new-fallen snow. Her lips were redder than a drop of blood.
Snow White. Summon Snow White.
Snow White appears timidly in the entrance. I suspect she had been listening behind the curtains.
I am here, Your Majesty.
That is she. And oh, she is Snow White. You are Snow White.
He rushes to kneel at her feet, her anger quite overcoming her as she sees Snow White's changed appearance.
Snow White, you dared! Ah!
She rushes toward the little princess, but suddenly, halfway, she falters and falls fainting, hopping about in great excitement.
The Queen fainted! The Queen fainted! Oh, this is most important. Princess, princess, see what you have done? Take her away! Take her away!
The maids of honor lead Snow White away, and Sir Dandiprat turns to the astonished prince.
Most deplorable. Would your highness withdraw to the terrace until the queen recovers? This is most distracting. Air, air, everyone out of the room, everyone. Give her air.
The prince and the courtiers hurry out of the room, but no sooner is the queen alone with Sir Dandyprat than she recovers from her swoon.
Shall I fan, your majesty? Oh, I hope.
Where is the prince?
Waiting on the terrace, your majesty.
Keep him there till I ring.
Oh, pray, don't anger him. Gain time, gain time.
Get out, you idiot.
This rude exclamation so startles Sir Dandyprat that he stumbles backwards up the terrace steps and waddles out of sight as fast as his fat legs will carry him.
The witch Hex, I must summon her. She must help me now.
She draws the curtains over both entrances so that she may not be seen at her magic.
What was the spell? Ah, I remember. From my eyebrow pluck a hair, barimi boo. Blow it high up in the air, barimi hock. Where it lands a circle trace, barimi boo. 3 times pace about the space, and knock, knock, knock.
As she knocks, smoke rises from the circle she has traced, and there is a sound of distant thunder.
Thunder says the spell grows warm, barimi boo. Now I speak the mystic charm, barimi boo. I sophagos, I sophagiddle, I sophagos, I sophagiddle, I sophagos, I sophalophagos, I sophagos, I sophagiddle.
The charm sounds like nonsense, but it must be true magic, for the smoke increases as she chants it, and the thunder comes nearer.
The spell's wound up, the charm is clear. I summon thee, witch Hex, appear.
Lo! Through the smoking circle in the floor, Witch Hex does appear. She looks exactly like all witches in fairy tale pictures, with her black pointed hat, red cloak, and crotched stick. It is evident that she is in a bad temper.
Here, help me out, help me out!
The queen assists her out of the smoking circle.
What is the meaning of this? I'm getting tired of being called up by you night and day. Last time I was in my nightgown, and it was snowing too. I was an idiot to teach you that spell. Whatever is the trouble now?
Don't be angry, dear godmother. You know how much I love you.
Stuff. You don't love me. You don't love anybody but yourself. That's the matter with you. If you only knew the trouble I have to take to keep you beautiful. Your disposition keeps wearing through. If I should once say, bang, no more charms for that wretched Brangomar, how would you look then? I believe you'd be uglier than I am.
I know, dear Hex, but you wouldn't.
Don't be too sure. Just summon me once too often, and you may find out how it feels to be the ugliest woman in the 7 kingdoms.
Oh, tell me I'm still the most beautiful.
You look all right to me, but I warn you, I'm using my strongest magic now. You'd be much safer if you'd try to be good once in a while. Well, whom are you jealous of this time?
Snow White.
Snow White? She's only a child.
So I thought till today, when I saw her for the first time prettily dressed.
Well, why in the name of my cat Fiddle did you dress her up?
I didn't. She tricked me.
Who thought she was fairer than you?
Prince Florimond. He wants to marry her.
Prince Florimond? Pooh, mere boy. Probably said it to plague you, knowing your wretched disposition. But I've brought something with me this time that may help to keep you quiet. Just had time to snatch it when I felt you spelling me away. It's a magic mirror.
She takes from her pocket and holds before Queen Brangomar's dazzled eyes a hand mirror carved from a single crystal. It glows and gleams like an opal. Seizing the mirror and gazing into it.
Magic? Oh!
Ah, you see. It reflects you as you really are. If I stopped my spells, that's what you'd look like. Now it makes me quite decent looking. That's because my character's better.
Oh, the hateful thing! I never saw anything so terrible. Why, I looked almost funny. Take it away! Take it away!
Wait, that's not all its magic. Hold it in your hand and say, "Mirror, mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?" And it will answer you truthfully.
Snatching the mirror, but shutting her eyes that she may not see her reflection.
Oh, let me try. Mirror, mirror in my hand, who's the fairest in the land?
Listen.
There is a faint strain of music, and then a clear, far-away voice that sounds like crystal bells sings,
"You who hold me in your hand, you are fairest in the land. But today I tell you true, Snow White is more fair than you."
With a scream of rage, the queen would dash the mirror to the floor, but the witch rescues it just in time.
Stop, 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 gracious. Listen to me now. If you ever break that mirror, you will become as ugly as you really are, and for life too. None of my spells can beauty you again either, for the mirror is made of those same charms. I thought you knew enough common everyday magic for that.
Pacing up and down, weeping with rage.
But Snow White is more beautiful than I! Snow White is more beautiful than I!
Snow White is more beautiful than I.
Stop wallowing.
But I can't bear it. Oh, make a spell and turn her ugly as a toad.
Won't. Refuse to make any more bad spells. If you can't bear the sight of her, then why not send her away somewhere? Say, boarding school?
But she'd come back.
Why should she? Suppose at boarding school she gets mumps or freckles or whatever those children's diseases are and dies of it.
Oh, I see. You'll make a spell and give her the disease.
No, no, no. I won't do any more bad magic, I tell you. You must contrive to have her lost on the way to boarding school, and then just tell some taradiddle to explain why she never comes back. And there you are. Everything permanently settled and a little peace for me, I hope.
I might. I could send Berthold, my huntsman, as if he were taking her to school, and then, oh, in the deep forest, he shall put her to death.
Goodness gracious, mercy me! I never suggested anything like that. Why, I hear she's quite a nice child.
I shall never know a happy hour while she's alive.
Well, there's no arguing with you. But can you trust your huntsman?
I know a way to make him obey.
Glad you know something. And look here, if you're resolved to have Snow White killed, then there's a little favor you might do me. I'm making a new spell that's really hard magic. A hair restorer that will really restore hair. Want it for my own personal use.
She pops off her cap and shows a perfectly bald head.
I'd about given up for want of the last ingredient, the heart of a nice young girl. Now, I wouldn't harm a nice young girl myself for anything, but if you're determined to dispose of Snow White, I'd be obliged for her heart.
I promise. Berthold shall bring it to me as proof. Now, goodbye, dear Hexie. I must summon him at once.
It's always goodbye, dear Hexie, as soon as I've done what you want. I'm afraid you don't love me for myself alone, dear Brangomar. But I'm as glad to go as you are to have me. Say the quick spell and get me off. Ready?
The queen and the witch join hands, shut their eyes, and chant in chorus.
Bangaboo-ba, bangaboo-whack, crow eat sun, make all black. Marumba.
Everything suddenly becomes black. In the darkness, the two voices are still heard, chanting,
Bangaboo-ba, bangaboo-whack, mole dig hole, witch go back. Marumba.
There is a queer sound, something like a very small earthquake. Then only the queen's voice is heard.
Bangaboo-ba, bangaboo-whack, witch is gone, sun come back. Marumba.
The light returns as suddenly as it went. The witch has vanished. Quite calmly, the Queen goes to the bell cord.
Let me see. I ring 3 times for the huntsman.
She rings, but it is Sir Dandyprat who enters.
Your Majesty rang for me?
Not for you, idiot, for Berthold. Give me a minute alone with him and then summon the Prince and Snow White. Off with you.
Sir Dandyprat hurries away just as Chief Huntsman Berthold enters. Berthold is tall and big. He has a thick, square beard and a kind, ruddy face.
Berthold, I have a task for you.
I hope it is to take you a-hunting, Your Majesty. Your forests are full of game, wild pigs, deer. Indeed, there may be even a unicorn or 2.
It's other game I propose this time, Berthold. You have been a faithful chief huntsman. Suppose I promote you to be Lord High Admiral. As we have no navy, the duties will be light.
Oh, Your Majesty, how can I thank you?
It depends upon your carrying out a task with absolute obedience.
Give me a chance to show my gratitude.
Come nearer. The Princess Snow White is to set out for boarding school this afternoon. You will conduct her. At the western gates you will take the old road that turns to the left.
But, Your Majesty, that road leads into the deep wood.
You will take that road. When you have come to the very heart of the forest, then you will kill the princess.
Springing back.
Never, Your Majesty, never.
It is my command. She has disobeyed me. She must be punished.
Kill Snow White? My late king's daughter? The loveliest maid in the 7 kingdoms? I would slay myself first. There is no man in your dominions base enough to do such a deed. Pray dismiss me.
He turns to go.
Wait. I have a surer means to command your obedience. You have 6 small children, I believe.
Yes, Your Majesty.
Suppose I lock your 6 children in the great grey tower. Suppose I order that no one shall take them food or drink.
Oh, Your Majesty, have mercy.
Think. Can you not hear their 6 small voices calling to you from the dark? We are hungry, Papa, they will cry, and they will beat on the door with their little hands.
Sinking to the ground.
Spare me, spare me.
At last they will be too weak to cry or beat. Then, when all has grown still within the tower, I will say, Berthold, here is the key. Go and see how Queen Brangomar punishes disobedience.
Rising with a cry.
Oh, I will obey, Your Majesty. Heaven forgive me, but I cannot let my children starve.
That's much better, Berthold. You understand clearly.
Alas, too well.
Oh, what a tone of voice. Remember the motto, a task cheerfully done is well done. And oh, I almost forgot. You must bring me Snow White's heart before midnight as a proof. Here comes the prince. Do try to look more pleasant.
Prince Florimond returns, ushered in by Sir Dandyprat, and followed by all the courtiers.
I hope Your Majesty has recovered.
Quite, thank you. I beg everybody's pardon, something I had for lunch, no doubt.
To Sir Dandyprat.
Where is the Princess Snow White?
I am here, Your Majesty.
My dear Snow White, Prince Florimond has come to ask your hand in marriage. What do you say?
Drooping her head.
What may I say?
Have you any reasons against it?
None, Your Majesty.
I was obliged to tell him how unfitted you are at present to become a queen. Indeed, I've long been thinking of sending you away to some select boarding school for backward princesses. This seems the opportunity. You will remain at the school for a year and a day.
Oh, Your Majesty!
And the prince must promise not to see or write to you until the end of that time.
That seems too hard.
Otherwise, I shall refuse my consent. Do you agree?
Since I must.
Then that's settled. Return here 1 year and 1 day hence, and we can then discuss the engagement. Now, Snow White, bid farewell to Prince Florimond.
The prince starts forward to kiss Snow White's hand, but the queen intervenes.
No, a respectful bow and a curtsy will be quite sufficient. Goodbye, Florimond. Hasten back to your father.
So poor Prince Florimond bows himself out, followed by his pages. But he looks back at Snow White as long as he can see her.
Now, Snow White, I've arranged all the details about the boarding school. You must leave immediately, or you won't arrive before nightfall. Berthold will conduct you. Say your goodbyes quickly.
Thank you so much, Your Majesty. I'm not quite sure that I want to be a queen, but I should like to be a well-educated princess. I am very grateful.
She tries to take the Queen's hand, but the Queen withdraws it hastily.
You are keeping Berthold waiting. Off with you at once.
Turning to her maids of honour.
Goodbye, my little playmates. Goodbye, Amelot and Ermengarde and Christabel and Rosalis. Don't cry, Rosalis. It will only be a year, and I promise not to come back so grown up and princessy that you won't recognize your Snow White. Goodbye, dear ladies and gentlemen who have all been so good to me. I kiss you all.
She blows them a kiss. Then, slipping her little hand into Berthold's big one, she says,
Now, Berthold.
And Berthold and the Princess Snow White go off along the terrace toward the deep forest as the curtain falls. End of Scene 1.